Hey everybody, well it's time to replace the oil and oil filter in my 2014 Toyota Sienna. Got the maintenance required light that came on and it's about that time. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Let me give you a breakdown of exactly what you're going to need in order to do this job. So of course you're going to need 6.4 quarts of oil. You're going to need an oil filter if you're doing the oil filter as well. Jack stands because I can't get underneath the car without jacking it up. So I got some jack stands. I got my floor jack. I got a pan to catch the oil. Plus a funnel to put the new oil in. Cardboard underneath is great. As you can see, this one is well loved and I tend to make a mess, so I got some cardboard here. Got rags to clean up my mess because, as I said previously, I like to make a mess, and so I need to clean up after myself. You're going to need a socket wrench with an extender. Also, there's a special tool for removing the Toyota fuel filter cap. I don't have that tool, but I've got this tool here, so I'm going to use that to remove the fuel filter cap when I replace the full fuel filter. So let me get the car jacked up, and let's go ahead and get started with this one. So the first thing you're going to do when you're changing your oil is you're going to want to pull your dipstick as well as take off the oil cap. This will help it drain when you're draining it. So now that we've got that done, let's slide underneath and start draining. All right, so you can see I got the car jacked up, got it up on jack stand so I can finally fit under here. Let me show you where the nut is. So you can see it right there, and it's a 9/16. So I'm going to get my 9/16 socket out. I'm actually going to get a breaker bar, break it. It's not necessary, but I got one, so I'm going to use it. And then I'll come back, unscrew it, and we can see it drain into the drain pan. All right, so I broke it free with my breaker bar, and now I'm just going to reach up under there, unscrew it, and this is always the fun part. Can I get it off without getting oil all over me? Not always easy, and I don't usually. Ooh, that's one of my better attempts. Now I'm going to go ahead and let that drain, and then I'm going to take the cap off the filter and use the little plastic tool that came with my filter to drain the filter. Alright, so now I've got all the oil drained out. I'm going to put the drain plug back in. I will torque it down later, but I'm just going to get that in, and then right here is the filter cap. I'm going to take that cap off, put the plastic piece in, and let the filter drain. So easy peasy. We're just going to go ahead and unscrew the cap, and we're going to get that plastic piece and put it in there. Okay, here's the plastic piece that I was talking about. Put this up in there. So you see I got the plastic piece in there. It was a little harder than I thought, and I needed my other hand. This gasket came out, but that's okay because there's a replacement in my new filter. So I'm going to go ahead and let that drain and then remove the cap and remove the filter. So while we're waiting for that to drain, let's talk about the filter that I'm going to use. I decided to go with this K&N filter. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'll link to another video up here that was basically a shootout of all the different filters, and the K&N came out as one of the best. It's a little bit more expensive, but I figure what I'm saving on doing the oil job myself, I can afford to get kind of a little higher end products. And let's be honest, it's only like $10, $20 more expensive for this K&N filter versus any of the others. I'll also talk about the oil that I'm going to use, and I'll link a video up here as well for the video that gave me this shootout of all the different Pennzoil oils. And the one that I choose came out the best, a little better than all the others. So let's go ahead and let's see if this has finished draining, and then we'll continue with the oil change. So like I said, there's a special tool to take off the filter cap, which I don't have. I'm just using these pliers that I had. And I'm just going to get in here, get a grip on it. And there it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, take the filter out, and then we'll be right back. All right, so here's the filter with the filter cap. One thing is when you unscrew this and you take it out, you're going to want to have your oil pan there, and you're going to want to tip it out. I've already drained this out, but there was still quite a bit of oil left in the oil cap. So now that we've got this off, I can go ahead and take out the old oil filter, put in my new one, replace the gasket, and put the filter back in and start to fill it back up with the new oil. So when you go to replace the gasket, look around and you'll see a little notch there, and that's the easiest way to get underneath that gasket to replace it. And if your gasket on the bottom didn't come up, there's a notch on the bottom as well that you can just get under there and you can take the gasket off. And as you can see, I'm using my rags to just kind of clean it up a little bit, wipe all this old oil off. You don't have to do that. I just like to clean up after myself when I'm doing this. So I'm going to wipe this down a little bit more, and then we'll put the new gaskets on, and then we'll put the filter in. So there we go. I got it all cleaned up as best as I could, wiped it down, got the new gasket on there. Also, I covered each of the gaskets, both the small gasket and the large gasket, with some of my new oil there, so that it's all oiled up. So I'm going to get this screwed in, and then we'll go ahead and fill it up with the new oil. I've also got the little cap here that you can see I cleaned up. So I'll just screw that on there. Check the torque specs to see if there's a particular torque. I'm supposed to torque that down. If there are torque specs, I'll put them down below so that you have them handy. So as you can see, I got my new K&N filter gaskets all installed. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this in. It's actually 25 foot-pounds is the torque for this filter housing, 13 foot-pounds for the little plug cap at the bottom of it. Again, I will put all of those torque specs down below. I'm going to go ahead and just get that hand tight and then go ahead and torque it down as best as I can. So like I mentioned, I'm going to use the Pennzoil Ultra Platinum Full Synthetic 0W20, which is the right weight for the Toyota Sienna 2014. I'll put a link in here that gave a great breakdown of the different types of Pennzoils, and then you can see that the Ultra Platinum actually did a little better than all the others, and so it cost a few dollars more. I had a few extra dollars, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. My Sienna's got pretty close to 100,000 miles, so I think it's really important that you put good oil and keep up with your oil changes. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and with that you put the oil cap back on, put the dipstick in, and you're all done. So please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. If you've got any questions, make a comment and check out the rest of my videos. Thanks everybody.